If you wanted a white Christmas, just head up to the high country this week. The snow is still falling there after starting yesterday. This is a quick look from our camera at Loveland ski area there with the tunnels. Looks like traffic's actually flowing just fine, but conditions aren't really expected to get any better, at least when it comes to the weather, until around noon on Saturday.
Back here in the metro area, mostly clouds, no sight of snow. Tomorrow looks pretty similar to today before temperatures could possibly rise into the 60s on Sunday. Corey, it is unbelievable the type of weather we've been having.
Doesn't feel like December.
It doesn't.
Yeah, you know, it has been very difficult to actually place your time and space as we've gone through this month of December. But we're starting to get at least some snowstorms move across the state. It hasn't really impacted us down here in the metro, although we did get some pretty meaningful rain, almost more than a half inch in some areas yesterday. But now we have the snow up in the high country. That is in a little bit of a lull right now, and then it's gonna pick up again. As you see on the live radar here, those snow showers have just been kind of dissipating and becoming very light over the last couple of hours. Once we go into the darkness tonight, we'll have some much colder temperatures, but we won't feel that down here in the Denver metro area tomorrow. We'll have a very similar day like we had today. I'll describe that and also the snow forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
The state health department placed a second chemist on leave after saying they manipulated water quality control data.
The EPA already pulled the lab's testing certification, and the state now dealing with another blow to its reputation. 9 News reporter Spencer Soisher is joining us. And Spencer, you spoke to the health department's medical director about the problem.
Yeah, the health department says it learned about the second chemist while investigating the first. The state says both chemists worked on the same machine, and it now has suspended water testing in the chemistry lab. CDPHE does not believe there is any immediate health risk here, but a trust problem, they know they have that now. A second chemist is now on leave, and water testing in the chemistry program at the state lab is now suspended.
The chemists who work in the chemistry unit at the state lab do work together, yes.
Dr. Ned Kalange is the medical director for CDPHE.
This issue of trust is really important.
Last month, 9 News Investigates learned of a problem that led the state to recall water quality data for nearly 70 public water systems. The EPA took away Colorado's certification for 4 tests that look for certain metals in water.
The breakdown in the quality control process was in the results for control samples, not for the individual samples themselves. So we have those data points of exactly how much of the metals were in the drinking water.
While that EPA certification is gone, Dr. Kalange says the state is sending all the tests they would do to other EPA certified labs. Now the state health department is looking into how and why this happened. After that, Dr. Kalange says it'll reapply for those certifications.
This really looks like an issue and a problem that was isolated to the chemistry laboratory.
But when CDPHE gets that EPA certification, it's still got another problem to deal with.
Once we understand that there's not an imminent public health risk, now the issue is how do we reestablish that trust going forward?
The trust issue goes beyond the data problems. The first chemist was placed on leave in February, then retired to avoid discipline. But the state didn't tell the water system operators until August, and it didn't become public until 9 News Investigates started asking questions last month. We asked Dr. Kalange if there could be more chemists manipulating data in the water quality lab. He doesn't think so. Spencer Soisher, 9 News.
Spencer, thank you. We've now learned a 1-month-old baby found abandoned in a car seat in the median of an Adams County intersection yesterday also tested positive for cocaine. That's according to an arrest affidavit for the child's parents. The Adams County Sheriff's Office arrested Jarvis Sims and Christina Thurman on suspicion of felony child abuse. They made their first court appearance this morning. A woman found the baby yesterday morning after she saw the couple arguing, then saw the man walk to the median and leave the car seat there. Investigators reviewed security camera footage from a nearby gas station and confirmed that woman's story. Human Services now has custody of the baby. The parents are expected back in court on Monday. Coming up on 9 News at 5, we'll dive deeper into Colorado's safe haven law, which allows parents to anonymously and legally surrender a newborn baby up to 72 hours old in designated safe locations without fear of prosecution.
Looking ahead, drivers who enter and exit express lanes outside of designated areas along certain stretches of road will be fined. CDOT says it will begin issuing fines on January 1st. During a 30-day grace period, the state issued more than 23,000 warnings to drivers who entered and exited the express lanes outside the designated areas in the central I-70, I-25 South Gap, and the US 36 corridors. The fines will start at $75, but that's if they're paid within 20 days. The fine will increase to $150 after 20 days. Changes are coming to Quebec Street. A section of the road near Colfax will be shut down over the next few months to make way for sidewalk construction. Detours will be in place around the area, and starting next Thursday, there will be more closures on Quebec. Quebec Street between Colfax and 17th Avenue will be closed until February 17th. Then the following day, Quebec Street between 17th and Montview Avenue will be closed until April 3rd. Construction will take place during the week, and the road segments will reopen on weekends. And unless you live in the area or you're a crew member working on the project, you will not be allowed to get through. City officials say this is all part of their Quebec Street mobility and pedestrian safety improvement project.
These segments were chosen, approved by voters. And this is a section of Quebec that's, it's an important stretch. It's a busy stretch, and it's a transit corridor. So we have people walking to bus stops there. And in some cases, they're just walking in dirt. If it's rainy, if it's snowy, it's not a great environment for walking or to reach these bus stops.
The project will cost $3.8 million. That money will come from the Elevate Denver Bond and RISE projects. Crews will be working to expand narrow sidewalks, add sidewalks to sections that need them, improve bus pads, and upgrade traffic signals at 17th and Quebec. The city says the project should be completed in early spring.
The Northern Colorado Regional Airport wants to bring commercial airlines to that part of the state. Leaders hope the addition of a new terminal at the airport at Loveland will help with that goal. The new airport director says they're also working on widening the runway and adding a virtual control tower. He says with the population growth up north, it's time for commercial airlines to start flying there.
There has been discussions with very, very initial discussions with Breeze, with Frontier, with United.
Right now, a lot of people use the regional airport to park their cars and then hop on a shuttle bus to DIA. Well, after more than 30 years, the future of a longtime Denver restaurant is now uncertain. Cafe Brazil has been around for decades. The restaurant posted on Facebook this weekend saying their lease will not be renewed as of January 1st, 2025, which is already next Wednesday. The post said it was a challenging year for the restaurant near the intersection of Lowell Boulevard and West 44th Avenue, with a decline in business, escalating costs for products and labor, and an inability to make ends meet. It's still unknown if the restaurant will try and move somewhere else.
Uneasiness over bird flu is growing among some health experts. As we speak, it is having an impact on poultry flocks, cattle, and dairy farms.
Over 125 million domestic poultry have been either culled or died as a consequence of this virus over the last year.
One major point of concern is the spread of the disease in cattle. Nearly 900 herds across 16 states have tested positive. The disease has even prompted a Portland, Oregon-based pet food company to issue a nationwide voluntary recall. That came after a house cat in Oregon died from eating one of its products, which tested positive for bird flu. Meanwhile, in neighboring Washington state, bird flu killed more than half of the big cats at a sanctuary. It's unknown just how those animals contracted the virus.